Hello, welcome to McDowell's Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through each of the battles in the American Grand Campaign in Close Combat 4, the Battle of the Bulge. We use historical World War II US Army doctrine to plan and conduct each battle. We start on the strategic map. It is 0800 hours on December 20, 1944, and the weather is overcast. There is no air support, artillery has been allocated, and there are no supply drops. In the last episode, the US 112th Regimental Combat Team from 28th Division fought the German Kampfgruppe Stefan from the 2nd Panzer Division at Losheim. The result was a total American victory, and the German Kampfgruppe was forced to disband. The next battle is at Houffalize, between the US 9th Armoured Division and the German Kampfgruppe von Bohm from the 2nd Panzer Division. Commander, Houffalize must be held. It is of strategic importance as it is one of only a few maps that allows passage through the Ardennes. Hold as many key road locations as possible to stop the German advance. The steeples in the centre of the map are good locations for bazooka teams, so that they can take out German tanks as they approach the bridges. On the US side is an American armoured battle group from the 9th Armoured Division under command of Captain Morris. It moves fast and reserves are full. The company consists of 3 platoons. First platoon is a tank platoon, second platoon is an infantry platoon, and third platoon is a support platoon with 3 tanks and 2 half-tracks. This company has not yet seen combat. Let's rename the squads off camera. Now, let's review each of the squads. 1-1 is 1st Platoon Headquarters. 3-1 is 3rd Platoon Headquarters. 2-1 is 2nd Platoon Headquarters. 2-3 is a rifle squad. 2-2 is a rifle squad. 1-3 is an M4 Sherman 75mm. 1-4 is an M4 Sherman 75mm. 1-2 is also an M4 Sherman 75mm. 3-2 is an M5 Stuart 37mm. 3-3 is also an M5 Stuart 37mm. 1-5 is an M7 Priest 105mm. 3-5 is an M21 81mm mortar motor carriage. 3-4 is an M3 heavy machine gun half-track. 2-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. And 2-4 is an M9 bazooka squad. Next, let's look at the map and conduct a commander's estimate of the situation. Our mission is to advance from Houffalize to clear Neuville. Houffalize is a town in Belgium that has grown around the confluence of a crossroads, the Ourthe River, and a number of sturdy stone bridges. The town, known in German as Hohenfels, is nested in a wooded valley. The Rue Sainte-Anne leads northeast to Saint-Vit. The Rue de Bastogne leads east past the millhouse, the Moulin-le-Maire, to Neuville. The Rue Saint-Roch leads south to Orthoville. The Rue de Libermont leads southwest to Baraque de Frature. The Rue de la Roche leads west to La Roche. And the Rue de Liege winds around the Ourthe River and leads north to Vielsalm. There are 2 prominent churches in the town, each with a tall steeple. The Église Sainte-Catherine in the north, and a smaller church overlooking East and West Bridge and looking down the Rue de Bastogne in the south. This is what Houffalize looks like today. The terrain, trees, and buildings disrupt observation and lines of fire across the area. There are some good keyholes for observation, and the two steeples provide good overwatch over the town and surrounds. Similarly, there is plenty of cover in and behind the buildings. And the buildings and woods provide ample concealment, particularly for infantry, but also for tanks, hiding behind buildings. The frozen Ourthe River is a minor obstacle likely only to slow down troops and vehicles. The woods present a major obstacle to vehicle movement. And the town itself is the most prominent obstacle in the area, with many buildings overlooking the approaches to the bridges. Key terrain is each of the roads leading to Houffalize, as these provide the opportunity for reinforcement and manoeuvre. The church to the south and the area between west and east bridges is decisive terrain, as this location controls all approaches to and movement through the crossroads. The obvious avenues of approach are along the roads and across the open fields, and the woods provide good infiltration opportunities for infantry to get close to the town without being observed. The Germans are likely to bring an armoured formation to battle, with plenty of Panzers and Sonderkraftfahrzeuge with some infantry in support. The Germans could aim to capture the town and bridges. The Germans could seize the high ground north of the town around the Rue Sainte-Anne, leading northeast to Saint-Vith. Operationally, this could open up a resupply route to the Panzers of Kampfgruppe von Poschinge at Saint-Vith. Tactically, it could be a good location for a support fire line, able to cover the entire town with suppressing tank cannon and machine gun fire. This could allow the supporting infantry to infiltrate the town from the southeast, concealed from observation by the woods. The infantry could take one building at a time, using local fire superiority and the covering fire from the support fire line to overwhelm each defensive position in turn. The engagement area would be the Rue de Baston and buildings leading into the centre of Houffalize. The Germans could alternatively aim for the bridges on the Rue de la Roche. This approach could isolate American forces in Houffalize. Once again, the Germans could seize the high ground north of the town around the Rue Sainte-Anne and establish a support fire line. But this time, infantry could accompany the Panzers and push on west to capture the northern end of town on the Rue de Liège, leading north to Vielsalm. From there, the half-tracks could provide local covering fire, while the infantry follow the dead ground in the creek bed and move on the Rue de la Roche from the north. The engagement area would be the open fields leading to the high ground support fire line position. Our mission to advance from Houffalize to Clerneuville has been frustrated by the arrival of German tanks. This has become a meeting engagement, and we must now defend the bridges and town of Houffalize. One option is to take a risk and seek a decision. The infantry of 2nd Platoon would occupy the buildings in Houffalize. The medium machine gun would take the steeple in the Église Sainte-Catherine, and the bazooka would set up in the steeple of the church to the south to block any Panzers moving up the Rue de Baston. The tanks of 1st Platoon would split into two battle pairs to exploit keyhole shots into each of the engagement areas. One pair would preempt the support fire line position and shoot down the Rue Sainte-Anne. The other pair would stay in the tree line well to the south and put flanking fire into the Rue de Baston as it enters the town. And the tanks of 3rd Platoon would work their way through the woods to the south to cut off the bridge across the Ourthe to the east and isolate German forces. This is a winner-take-all strategy and relies on dispersed forces concentrating effects. The Americans will either win or be annihilated. The other option is to play it safe with a purely defensive strategy. Once again, the infantry of 2nd Platoon would occupy the buildings in Houffalize. The medium machine gun would take the steeple in the Église Sainte-Catherine, and the bazooka would set up in the steeple of the church to the south to block any Panzers moving up the Rue de Baston. The tanks would remain to the northwest, covering behind the buildings along the Rue de Liège. From here, they would refuse any German infantry push to the west and would threaten the German support fire line. This approach would whittle down German strength while preserving American forces for future engagements. I have made my decision and have placed the platoons and squads in position. First platoon split into battle pairs. 1-1 and 1-2 in the wood line to the south. 1-3 and 1-4 on the high ground to the north. 1-5 ready to support 2nd platoon. 2nd platoon in the town in locations with good lines of fire on likely approaches. The bazooka in one steeple. The medium machine gun in the other. And 3rd platoon ready to counterattack east through the woods. With the heavy machine gun half-track covering the mortar motor carriage in defilade on the Rue de la Roche. And so we begin. Lots of tanks. Four emerging from the trees northeast of the town. Probably their armoured platoon. Another tank and 2 half-tracks along the Rue de Bastogne. Probably their support platoon. 3rd platoon launches the counterattack through the woods towards the Road de Champs. And the German infantry. Probably their Panzer Grenadier platoon. 1-2 knocks out the flame half-track. The American mortar opens a fire mission on infantry in the open crossing the frozen river. 1-3 knocks out a Panzerkampfwagen 4H. The keyhole shots are working. (1-3 and 1-4 suppress the infantry in the open. And knock out another Panzerkampfwagen 4H. 3rd platoon immobilizes the German mortar half-track and knocks it out. No indirect fire support for you.
No clear path.
Meanwhile, German infantry are infiltrating Houffalize from the southeast, moving from building to building.
Köpfe runter! Move completed.
Here.
German Panzer Grenadier are caught in a murderous crossfire.
Unteroffizier!
Another Panzerkampfwagen 4H destroyed. 3rd platoon probes up the road from Champs to cut off the Germans.
Feldwebel! Wir erliegen unter schwerem Beschuss! Klaus!
Reeling from their losses, the 2 remaining German panzers make a direct line for the bridge. Right into the bazooka ambush and tank crossfire.
Wir ergeben uns!
2-4 knocks out another Panzerkampfwagen 4H. The Kampfgruppe commander belatedly realizes the fire is coming from behind him, to the north.
Team redeployed. In position.
Feldwebel!
Neutralized.
He swings the tank around just in time to take a hit to the tracks. .31 is damaged. And destroyed. 3-2 takes the hint and pushes fast to the bridge.
All primary objectives secured.
Nicht schießen! Wir ergeben uns! Aussteigen!
The Kommandowagen Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251 is knocked out.
Feldwebel!
The Kampfgruppenführer is alone. Total American victory. The battle ended because the Germans' force morale got too low and they were forced to retreat off the map. The Americans gained control of the map and the German battle group was forced to disband. The Americans won the battle because they control a greater number of crucial victory locations than the Germans. The Americans took 1 killed and lost 1 tank, 3rd Platoon's Command Sherman. The Germans took 18 killed, 20 wounded, 5 prisoners, 4 tanks destroyed and 1 captured, and 3 armoured vehicles destroyed. Let's examine the American squads. In Aston's tank, Dickerson and Yoder share credit for the flame half-track kill. In Maddox's tank, Leach claims 2 tanks and a Silver Star, while Brooker claims 1 tank and a Bronze Star. Second Platoon almost saw no action whatsoever. But MacDonald and King on the bazooka share credit for a Panzer kill. Burris's tank is destroyed and Harris, the driver, killed. Jacobson, in the Stuart tank, is awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge for his bravery seizing the bridge, and shares credit for a half-track kill with Johnson, who is credited with another half-track kill. So far, the campaign remains a major American victory. The Grand Campaign has 12 days remaining. Your defence of the Ardennes is progressing better than your historical counterparts. The tip of the German offensive spearhead has been decisively blunted at Houffalize. Over the campaign, cumulative American losses are 312 killed in action, 314 wounded in action, 32 tanks, 4 vehicles, and 16 guns. Cumulative German losses are 740 killed, 679 wounded, 103 tanks, 102 armoured vehicles, and 1 anti-tank gun. So, what did we learn? Once again, we see demonstrated the decisive importance of the tactical use of terrain. Both sides in this battle were evenly matched. If anything, the superiority of German tanks gave them a slight edge. But the terrain shaped their manoeuvre into predictable engagement areas. The terrain also provided a number of keyhole shots into those engagement areas from positions that were well concealed and protected from flanking fire. This meant the German panzers and infantry could not advance through the engagement areas without taking devastating flanking fire. Not to forget the old bazooka in the church steeple trick, a Battle of the Bulge perennial favourite. And terrain also permitted 3rd Platoon to achieve surprise by taking an unexpected route through the woods to disrupt the German support forces and seize the bridge. So, always try to understand how terrain will shape the enemy's plan, and always try to use terrain to your advantage. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.